For this battle report, I want to showcase the type of pickup games that I've been playing locally. The group that I play with has arrived at 7,500 BV games using just about any tech as our standard for weekly games. And for the past couple of months, we've been using the Mechbay Podcast Mission Pack to randomize scenario types. For this game, I invited my friend Josh from the Mechbay Podcast over to my game room to record. I decided to bring a clan Seafox force from the Ill clan era. I had 3 mechs and a point of battle armor for a total of 7,484 BV. The Summoner F is a relatively inexpensive configuration for the Omni-Mech. It is equipped with 2 Ultra Autocannon 5s, an LRM-10, and 3 ER Medium lasers. Notably, it's used as a basis for the Grand Summoner's Prime configuration. The Hammerhead is a 45-ton battle mech with a large pulse laser, a Streak SRM-6, and an ER Medium laser. What makes it special is its hardened armor that gives it the durability of an assault mech, and its AES system that keeps it stable on its feet. The Hellion is a 30-ton Omni-Mech that has great maneuverability thanks to both mask and jump jets. The E configuration is equipped with 2 heavy medium lasers, an SRM-4, 2 AP Gauss rifles, and 4 flamers, as well as an ECM suite. Corona heavy battle armor are designed for firepower. Each suit carries a medium pulse laser. What they trade away, though, are maneuverability and armor protection. Josh brought a Ward of Blake force with 4 battle mechs and a level 1 of battle armor for a total of 7,472 BV. The Legacy is an 80-ton assault mech with 2 Ultra Autocannon 10s, 2 ER medium lasers, a Streak SRM-4, and an ER small laser. It does have a C3I computer, but Josh is not using them networked today. The Clanbuster Black Knight is a 75-ton battle mech with an ER PPC, 2 large lasers, a large pulse laser, 4 medium pulse lasers, and a sword-shaped hatchet. The Raijin is a fast 50-ton battle mech with a large pulse laser, a Streak SRM-6, and 3 ER medium lasers. Stolen from Comstar, the F configuration of the Inner Sphere Battle Cobra Omni-Mech is equipped with 2 plasma rifles. And finally, Purifier Adaptive Battle Armor are medium suits that trade away some durability for mimetic armor. Josh has chosen the configuration equipped with support PPCs. With our forces picked out, we rolled scenario number 4 in the Mechbay Podcast Mission Pack. Hold the line. Our objective is to move our forces onto the enemy's half of the map, while preventing our opponent from doing the same. Scoring is done at the end of the game, with every 500 BV of your units on the opponent's side giving you 1 victory point. Crippled units only count as half their BV. Josh and I agreed that we'd play at most 10 turns. I'm also going to show the score as it would be at the end of each round, even though the actual scoring happens at the end of the game. And with that, let's get to the game. Josh won initiative for the first turn, so I'll be moving on from the left side, and then he'll move on from the right. We are using the rules for front-loaded initiative, so you'll notice that when he outnumbers me, he'll have to move more units earlier in the turn rather than at the end. I start by walking my summoner up onto a hill. Then Josh runs his Black Knight onto the battlefield. Then his second move is having his Raijin run on. Next, I decide to move my Hammerhead. I run it onto the battlefield and towards the open clearing that'll allow it to cross the board easiest. Josh then runs his Battle Cobra towards the upper edge of the field. It's carrying his unit of Purifiers. My last move of this turn is my Hellion. It's carrying my Corona battle armor. I run it up against a hill to give it some protection from incoming fire. Then Josh runs his Legacy onto the board behind his Raijin. My Summoner takes some hard-to-hit shots at the Raijin. It actually manages to hit with a flight of LRMs. At the end of turn 1, neither of us have crossed the center line, so our score is 0-0. I won initiative for this turn, so Josh starts movement by running his Legacy forward. After that, he decides to run his Black Knight forward into a nice defensible position behind a level 1 hill and a woods on top of it. Then I run my Hammerhead forward next to a hill, where it'll have partial cover from at least one direction. Next, Josh runs his Raijin up into a nice defensible position where it's standing in heavy woods behind a hill. I check some ranges and then decide to run my Summoner forward onto the next hill. Josh debates a few different options for his Battle Cobra to continue running along the upper edge of the map. Once he's settled on a final position, he also decides to have the Purifiers dismount from the Omni-Mech. For the last move of this turn, I have my Hellion engage its mass system in order to wind through the hills at high speed and get close to the center line of the battlefield. The Raijin opens fire on the Hellion, but misses with everything. The Legacy fires at the Hammerhead, but misses with both autocannons. The Hammerhead returns fire at the Legacy, but misses with everything too. The Black Knight fires both of its large lasers at the Hammerhead, but neither beam connects. Then my summoner fires at the Legacy, hitting its right torso with a single autocannon shot. At the end of turn 2, neither of us have reached the other side, so we're still tied at 0. Josh won initiative for turn 3, so I have to move first. I just adjust my summoner's position slightly so it has better partial cover. Josh jumps his purifiers into some woods. Then he continues to run his battle cruiser along the upper edge of the map. This makes it the first unit to cross the center line. Then I run my hammerhead and it's able to just barely make it onto Josh's side of the board. With the target close, Josh just walks his Legacy up onto the hill. Then he decides to have the Raijin stand still in the heavy woods. My Hellion runs into the midst of Josh's forces to get behind the Raijin and drop off the Corona battle armor. Josh decides that can't be allowed and runs his Black Knight behind the Hellion. My Hellion opens fire at the back of the Raijin. One of its heavy-medium lasers melts armor from the right leg, and then its AP Gauss rifles chip away more armor. From just behind it, the Black Knight fires a light show of lasers into the back of the Hellion, melting away its entire center torso. The Hammerhead fires at the back of the Black Knight. Both of its lasers melt armor from its arms. The Summoner takes aim at the back of the Black Knight too. It only manages to hit with 2 shots from 1 autocannon and a flight of LRMs. The Legacy scores 3 autocannon hits on the Hammerhead, leaving cracks in its hardened armor. The Raijin fires at the Hammerhead too, melting a little more armor from its left torso. The level 1 of Purifiers fire their support PPCs at the Hammerhead, peppering its armor, including a hit to the head. With the Hellion gone, the Black Knight swings its hatchet at the freshly dismounted Corona battle armor, cleaving one of the troopers in 2. At the end of turn 3, I've gotten enough units onto Josh's side of the board, despite the loss of my Hellion, to be leading 5-2. I won initiative this turn, so Josh has the first move. He jumps his Raijin across the center line and onto my side of the board. Then he runs his Battle Cobra farther to the left and towards my Summoner. I have the Summoner hold its position. On the other side of the battlefield, Josh jumps his Legacy into some woods, and then he has the Purifiers converge on its position. Then I run my Hammerhead to the Legacy's right side. And Josh decides to back his Black Knight away from the Corona battle armor. And that left them in a relatively safe position, so I just had them stand still. Josh's Battle Cobra fires both of its plasma rifles at my Summoner. One hits melting armor from the left torso and spiking its heat levels. From the Summoner's other side, the Raijin tries and fails to hit it with its pulse laser. The Summoner returns fire at the Raijin, blasting chunks of armor from its body. But the Summoner's left arm autocannon jams up. On the other side of the battlefield, the Legacy opens fire on my Corona battle armor and blows apart one of the troopers. Point of Coronas focus fire on the Black Knight, scoring hits on 2 of its limbs. The Hammerhead targets the Black Knight too, hitting with its large pulse laser and streak SRM-6. The Black Knight fires back at the Hammerhead, melting away armor from its limbs. The 6 Purifiers take aim at the Hammerhead again, but this time their weapons miss. At the end of turn 4, we each have enough units on our opponent's side to earn 5 points. Josh won initiative for this turn, so I have the first move. I use it to run my Hammerhead around and into the light woods. Josh responds by jumping his Purifiers to the Hammerhead's feet. Then his Raijin jumps adjacent to the Summoner. In response to that, I have my Summoner run up and then downhill in order to loop around the side of the Raijin. That left Josh frustrated because he was no longer able to get his Battle Cobra somewhere where it could shoot the Summoner. He ends up running it to the top of the hill just to be in a good position for next turn. Then his Legacy turns around and closes in on the Hammerhead. I move my Coronas uphill so that they have more potential targets in sight. Josh decides to have his Black Knight join the fight against the Summoner. He debates a few different approaches and ultimately just decides on backing it up and then turning. The Summoner opens fire on the Raijin, but its aim is off. It only manages to hit with a single medium laser. The Raijin twists and fires back, scoring hits with a laser and its streak SRMs. The Black Knight targets the Summoner too, missing with its PPC and both large lasers. On the other side of the battlefield, the Coronas score 3 hits on the Legacy with their pulse lasers. The Hammerhead joins in, melting more armor from the assault mech with its 2 lasers. The Legacy fires back with a devastating salvo. Both autocannons hit twice, and then SRMs scatter over the Hammerhead, including another hit to its head. Meanwhile, the Purifiers tear away at the armor plates on the Hammerhead's left leg, but they fail to get into its internals. In response, the Hammerhead stomps down and crushes one of the Purifiers. The Legacy then kicks out, hitting the Hammerhead's left leg and crushing what armor remains there. No units cross the midline, so we're still tied at 5-5 at the end of turn 5. I won initiative for turn 6, so Josh has the first move. He uses it to jump his Raijin towards the left side of the board. Then he runs his Black Knight onto my side of the board and tucks it next to a hill. I run my Hammerhead downhill and away from the Legacy and Purifiers. The Purifiers stand still in their woods, and the Legacy backs into a nearby woods. I have my Coronas walk towards the Purifiers and the Legacy. Josh decides to have the Battle Cobra stand still on its high perch. And then I jump my Summoner right behind his Black Knight. As the Summoner lands, it opens fire on the back of the Black Knight. A laser melts torso armor, while the autocannon and missiles eat into the internals of the left arm. The Black Knight twists around to fire its right arm weapons at the Summoner. The PPC goes wide, but the pulse laser hits. The Battle Cobra tries to help against the Summoner, but both of its plasma rifles go wide. On the other side of the battlefield, the Hammerhead twists and fires at the Legacy, hitting with everything. The Legacy returns fire, blasting away more of the Hammerhead's armor with 2 autocannon hits. The Purifiers fire their PPCs at the Hammerhead, scoring 2 hits to its right arm and 1 to its head. The head hit knocks out the Mech Warrior. The Coronas open fire on the Purifiers, taking out 2 of the Blakist troopers. The Summoner then kicks the Black Knight, breaking deep into its right torso and damaging a laser and a heatsink. With my Hammerhead's Mech Warrior knocked out and Josh getting another unit onto my side of the board, I'm losing at the end of turn 6 1-9. Josh gets the initiative for turn 7, but my first move is easy with my Hammerhead standing immobile. Josh has his level 1 of Purifiers stay in the woods. Then his Raijin runs back towards my Summoner. With the Purifiers still in the same spot, my Coronas don't need to move. Without any better options available, the Legacy turns to face my immobilized Hammerhead. Then the Black Knight repositions a little bit farther onto my side of the board. I run my Summoner over onto Josh's side of the board, and then he decides to have his Battle Cobra stand still. The Legacy unleashes on the immobile Hammerhead, destroying its right torso and disabling its fusion reactor. The Purifiers fire on the Hammerhead too, blasting away at the now destroyed mech. My Coronas miss the Purifier battle armor this time. My Summoner twists and opens fire on the Black Knight, hitting with everything. The Black Knight tries to retaliate but fails to hit. Then the Battle Cobra fires on the Summoner. Both plasma rifles find its left torso. The second one ignites the LRM ammo sitting there. My Summoner manages to stay on its feet, but its entire left side is gone. My Summoner making it across the center line pushed my score back up to 4 that turn, but Josh was at 9 still. He also had 4 operational mechs to my 1 crippled Summoner, so I decided to concede and Josh claimed victory. Thanks for watching. If for some reason you aren't already listening to the Mechbay podcast, you should definitely check them out. And if you enjoyed this battle report and would like to see more from me, you can subscribe here on YouTube, at scottsgameroom.com, or on Patreon.